She'll be downtown whipping on the radio. You got something that belongs to me. Your body language says it all. Despite the things you said to me.
Hello, Moon Babes, and welcome back to another reading. I felt called to do a pick a card. The vibe is vibing tonight. It's storming a little bit. I've got some cool lighting going on. There's a gentle breeze and a train just off in the distance. So go ahead and pick the pile that you are most called to. To help you pick, I've got some charms here. This is a Cowrie Shell. And this charm is a snake charm. So I'm going to pray really quick and then I'll meet you at your timestamp. Dear Divine, thank you so much for connecting me with this collective. I thank you that you have protected me as I pulled this energy. I pray that as I read for this collective that no harm will come nigh to you, that this work is done with the purest of intention and the highest of integrity. I thank you that these readings are falling on the ears that are meant to hear them, and that they are coming here with only the purest and highest vibration and intentions. With so much love in my heart, clarity on my mind, and gratitude on my lips, I say thank you. All right, Moon Babes. Cowrie Shell for this pile, and snake for this pile. I'll meet you at your timestamp. All right, Moon Babes, if you picked the lovely Cowrie Shell, then this is your reading. So cowrie shells were used as currency back in the day. With the train horn continuing during this reading, like, I know that this is the first pile after my intro. However, I'm taking that into consideration for the reading as well. Your person may be involved in trade, or might be a business owner, a merchant, might be a merchant, might be involved in the global supply chain in some shape or form. Getting that very strongly right off the bat. I'm also gonna say that this person is very well off, not just because of the things that or industries that I mentioned, but because cowrie shells were once used as currency. I'm also going to go out on a limb and say that this person might be a cardinal sign, or I'm picking up heavy earth sign energy, but I'm getting cardinal energy because of the persistence of that train horn. Like, normally for a train horn, it's like one or two honks and then, it's out. But it just kept going, right? So this person is probably very relentless, probably a go-getter, probably doesn't really take no for an answer, tries to figure out a solution, and by a solution, like, how can I make this person say yes to me? This person might be involved in sales, getting a heavy entrepreneur vibe. Dare I say alpha, but like not really alpha in the like red pill, blue pill kind of sense, but alpha in terms of heavy on the leadership. 220 and now 222 on the timestamp as I look over. So the first thing that we are going to talk about in this spread is, what is the overall lesson of this relationship? And we have full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. So yeah, this person is definitely an earth sign, or just a very serious person. I'm going to read from the book, but intuitively what I'm getting off of this card is like, you're definitely going to learn some leadership. Oh yeah, I said cardinal energy, and this is a cardinal, this is the cardinal earth sign. So you're definitely learning some sort of leadership, or perhaps even healing daddy issues or parental trauma from your childhood. This feels very harsh, but I'm not surprised to say that, because Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is considered the harsh teacher, right? And so a lot of the lessons that we learn from Daddy Saturn, as he's called, is it feels kind of harsh. It feels unfair. It feels like, damn, do I ever get a break? So let me go to the book to see what the book is saying about full moon in Capricorn, but that's just what I'm getting off the intuitive side. So, okay, it says, take a reality check. This card has two sides to it, literally and metaphorically. If you've been worrying about something, the good news is that you shouldn't waste another moment worrying, as this won't help. Some things only happen once, and that can be really good news. If you're wondering about how something you're keen on is going to turn out, this card could be a sign that you've hit a roadblock. If you want to change that, you're going to need to put in extra effort with your manifesting work. Manifesting balance. Find a balance between facing your reality and be kind to yourself and others. Manifesting mindset. If you're not happy with the message of this card, use the old trick of finding the best thought you can about your situation and go from there. A manifesting ritual for weathering through tough times. Add laurel essential oil to your diffuser. Sit comfortably and gently close your eyes. Call in Parvati, the goddess of divine strength and power, and her son Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god who protects us. You need strength to get through this time, so ask Parvati and Ganesha to guide you to the best possible outcome. Your manifestation affirmation. Everything is always working out in my favor. When to manifest your magic. The best time to work your magic is when the moon is in Capricorn on a Saturday, Saturn's day, or during Saturn's hour. So I don't feel like that differs too much from what I was getting intuitively. There's this need to be very straightforward. Like you're learning that through this relationship, or you will learn that through this relationship if it hasn't happened already, or if this person isn't in your life already. You're definitely going to learn some sort of discipline, some sort of diligence, and we'll see how as we go further along. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the most prominent zodiac, or the most prominent traits of this person. So for this card, we have Vesta, Hearth. Now, Vesta, I believe, is an asteroid. Excuse me. I believe it's an asteroid, but intuitively I'm picking up on the home. And as I say that, I'm being reminded of Cancer energy. Cancer is the sister sign of Capricorn. So it's honestly not very surprising for me to be just like intuitively picking up on that. I'm also getting the sense that like you and this person could be sister signs. Like he's a Capricorn, you're a Cancer, or vice versa. Heavy cardinal energy. If y'all sun signs aren't cardinal signs, I would venture to say that your rising sign, or like you just carry a lot of these traits. I'm not gonna read from the book for every single card, but I just want to double check to see if Vesta is an asteroid, because if it is, I have something to say about that. Yeah, it is an asteroid, and it's between Jupiter and Mars, the oldest goddess of hearth, home, and family. Yeah, see, Cancer energy. Evaluate yourself in your life. Each human's task is to help reduce the total suffering on earth and to increase the total joy. And that's kind of what Capricorn moon people have to learn in this life. Capricorn moons are some of the toughest placements because even though you might not necessarily have a square aspect, the vibe of a square aspect of like all the challenge and conflict, like that's what Capricorn moon gives. And so a lot of times people with Capricorn moons or Capricorn placements, they have issues with the father, like a lot of like either absentee father or like emotionally abusive or emotionally unavailable parents in general. So I feel like also with whoever this person is, like I feel like you being with them is going to help heal your inner child or help heal childhood wounds that came up from your past. The next thing that we're going to talk about is physical features of this person. Yeah, so here are the cards that we have. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, this person is definitely an earth sign. I'm getting very strong, like broad shoulders. For some of you. For others of you, this person looks very unassuming. For the first time ever, I'm hyper focusing on this little toad. I've had this deck a very long time and I don't think I've ever looked at that toad or noticed that toad on this card. And like looking at this toad and this person here, like it looks like he's caught off guard, but like now I'm kind of curious, like is he actually caught off guard and can he fight his way against these 7 people? Like I've never asked that question before, but that's what I'm getting. So for some of you, this person is like very stocky, like broad shoulders, like you would not want to test this person. But for others of you, this person doesn't look like they would know what to do in a fight, but they definitely could. Or for some of you, I'm kind of getting this is it feels like I'm getting ahead of myself with this pile. So this person might have been like an accelerated learner as a child, like kindergartner going to the 8th grade reading class type shit. Or even as I just like changed my vernacular, this person might have grown up in the hood, but is very well educated and very well spoken. Perhaps grown up in the South. I'm channeling so much. This is so cool. We need to do more readings like this. I'm getting like the imagery of a big teddy bear. So like this person might look very big in stature but have like a baby face, or you could just look at them and tell that they're actually a warm chocolate chip cookie. 12:03 on the clock as I looked over. So let's move on. Oh, I'm getting another message, like this person is going to be very, very helpful. Like they're a solutionist. They're always going to find a solution to whatever problem that you might have or might come up while y'all are together. Like they're going to help you. So I asked 2 questions for the next couple cards, and the first question I asked was, how does this person handle emotions? And this card came in reverse, and I'm actually going to keep it this way. I'm feeling that very strongly. No fucks given, unbothered, not giving any attention to a situation, focus on something else. So this coming out in the reverse tells me that this person doesn't deal with things like that. If they have in the past, they've either learned from it and grown out of that, or you guys being in a relationship is what triggers them to learn how to pay more attention to their emotions, especially with this coming out right underneath the Capricorn moon card. Like, there's something to that. And then I asked if they could say something to you, like, what would they say? Now, when I was shuffling this, I was kind of thinking, like, if this person didn't know who you were yet. And I think it's very funny what we got. Signs and synchronicities. Trust your intuition. Your spiritual guides are trying to tell you something. So if this person could say something to you right now, they would let you know that if you're seeing any signs right now, I just got 333 in my mind's eye right now. So like, if you're seeing repeating numbers or whatever, and you're thinking it's related to love, or maybe even rejecting love, or knowing that love is like coming in for you but you don't want it, or something to that effect, like they would tell you that they are the ones sending these signs. And as I just looked over on the timestamp, it said 1415. So yeah, they're sending you hella signs. And speaking of signs, I asked for further insights and we got marriage, club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. Let's put that here. Dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Okay. Star, guarantee success. Bird perched, waiting for news, package, or letter. Purse, pay attention to your finances. And finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. So I feel like all of this energy confirms what I was saying in the beginning, that one, this person is going to be well off financially. They've probably experienced a time in their life when they didn't have it. The star is making me think of the star in traditional tarot, which is all about like healing something. So going along this trajectory of finger pointing to the problem, what's the problem? The purse. And then after the purse being the star, like I just see this natural progression of like, okay, this was once a problem here, but we've gone through the hardship and we've learned through it. I'm getting very strongly that for some of y'all, like this person has a hefty inheritance, and that kind of gives some like relief to any financial strain or like hardship. But there's a lot of energy here about finances. For some of you, a prenup or some sort of like, yeah, prenuptial agreement, something that you did before you got married, it turns out in your favor. This could be true for them as well. I'm not getting too much more on that, but just know that something that you do before you get married to this person, or before you come into cahoots with this person, is going to pay off. For others of you, this person has experienced a coercive relationship, where they've gotten out of some sort of relationship where they feel like they were bamboozled or hoodwinkled into, is what I just heard. That's not something I would say. And as I look over, the next card that we have out is the Eight of Pearls, which is the Eight of Cups, walked away. So yeah, they've definitely walked away from something where they feel like they were tricked into or like strong-armed into. However, the question that I asked when this card was shuffled was, what do they do for work? So with this being eights, it's making me think of Leo energy. So something that is like front and center. I said leadership in the beginning of the reading, like leadership is super important. But they could also be a hairdresser. whatever they do for work, they have the opportunity to travel and travel often. Their plans might change pretty frequently, and that might be some strain on the relationship. You might even question yourself a lot, like, why am I here? Should I just leave? And I don't think it's necessarily because of anything toxic. Like, I think this is just your vibe. And maybe even the vibe of this person too. Like, especially if they went through a lot of shit in their childhood. Like, I gotta find peace of mind. That played in my head just now. So yeah, like either you or this person are an avoidant or you struggle with avoidant tendencies. And then what was the last thing I asked? Y'all, I gotta look at my notes. Hold on. Okay, the last thing I asked was how do they like to hang out with you? And we got the Two of Wands. So baby girl, they like to travel. Pack them bags, okay? Sagittarius or Pisces placements might be significant because the Eight of Cups here, that's like leaving, going somewhere a lot. Pisces is always traveling. Sagittarius is always traveling. Yeah, they like to travel a lot. They might even be interested in doing plant medicine with you. They're very open to your ideas about like where to go or like excursions or very open-minded energy here for sure. Ooh, this is a rather spicy message that's coming through. If you're familiar with the upside down pineapple community, lifestyle community, they also might be into that or open to it. But that's what I have for you. I hope that this message resonated. If it did, please consider giving me a like, commenting to let me know how the message hit for you, and consider sharing it with a friend so that these messages can get out there to more people who need to hear them. So until next time, you know where to find me. If you'd like to book a personal reading or follow me on social media elsewhere, the information to do all of that will be in the description box. Thank you so much. Hi, Moon Babes. If you picked the snake charm, this is your reading. So today we have a spread. I had so much fun with the first group, and I'm hoping that this group is just as fun. I think the spread that I made was pretty fun. So let's get into your messages. So the first question I asked was, what is the overall lesson of this relationship? And we have full moon in Gemini, embrace the flow of life. It's rather interesting because the last group had a full moon card. But anywho, so with this, what I'm intuitively getting is that your lesson with this relationship is compromise. You're learning how to just, as the card says, embrace the flow of life. You're learning how to go with the flow. You're learning how to be more adaptable. So you could be either a fixed or a cardinal sign, or you could just have some sort of placement that makes it very hard for you to move from a go with the flow kind of perspective. Like, you might be the type of person who feels the need to have a minute by minute play of how the day's gonna go or like what you're gonna do. You might be type A, and this person is gonna challenge that. This might be a point of contention in the relationship, to the point where you might question like if the relationship is for you. But I'm getting very strongly, like, if you push through the discomfort and allow yourself to learn from someone else instead of you always being the teacher, You'll also find that just because this person doesn't necessarily teach in the same way that you do, that you still learn a valuable lesson. I just got as well, like there might be a cultural difference. So interracial relationships are coming through very strong. And when I say interracial, I'm not talking about the boring, like, oh, black woman with a white man. Okay, what do you freaking do? I'm talking like more. Now, I wouldn't use this term, but the word exotic is coming through. So, I don't know, like somebody from Myanmar versus, or not versus, but one partner from Myanmar versus, or oh, why am I saying versus? One partner from Myanmar and a partner from Honduras, or someone from the Sudan and a partner from Russia. Just something very not usually seen in society is how it's coming through. The next thing I asked was, okay, yeah, this is funny. Next thing I asked was, what's the most prominent traits of this person, or most prominent zodiac to pay attention to? So Jupiter sign. So this person, when you meet them, like they might be operating fully in their Jupiter sign. Now, your Jupiter sign, as this card suggests, abundance, is where we look within your astrological chart, your natal chart, birth chart, whatever term you want to use. We look at that sign to see, like, how are you the luckiest at attracting money, but not necessarily attracting from this place of like you don't have to do anything, more so attracting from this place of like it comes naturally to you, or you might just gravitate to it and it might feel like you kind of stumbled upon it, but really it was written in the cosmos before you were even born that you were going to do this thing. Jupiter is also known as the planet of good luck and expansion. So heavy on the mental expansion. This person is going to teach you a lot, because Gemini is like the journalist of the zodiac. They like to know a little bit about everything. They don't need to know the ins and outs of every single thing, but they're very satisfied with learning. Like they're kind of like tapas learners. You know, they like to get a little here and a little there. They're grazers. But the sister sign, which is why I said it was funny when I first placed the card down, is the sister sign of Gemini is Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So this person might like to drink a lot. They might be very drawn to Italian food. I'm also getting like fall might be their favorite season, or they might like to dress in fall. Like their sense of style really comes out during fall because it's a very cozy time. I'm also getting Taurus energy now. Jupiter is also the co-ruling planet of Pisces. So yeah, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Taurus are coming out so far. What else? Physical features. So we have the Seven of Cups. It was in reverse. I'm not really taking reverse off of this portion of the reading. I'm getting the sense that you're gonna find either so many different things about this person as very attractive or alluring to you, or you're gonna find this one specific thing that's super attractive and like super magnetic. For some of you, it is their noodle. Yeah, and as I say that, I look up and there's like multiple noodle shaped things up here. So yeah, confirmation on that. Yeah, more phallic symbols here. So it's either you're drawn to a lot of different things physically, or you're mostly drawn to their mind. And as I say that and place that on the Gemini card, it just feels very fitting. So not to say that your boo is going to be ugly. I just think that for some of you in this group, you're either going to find their mental as super attractive, or you may even identify as a sapiosexual, like someone who doesn't really pay attention to how their partner looks. It's more so about how they make you feel through mental stimulation, and the mental stimulation is what leads to further things. So for the next couple of cards, I asked two questions. The first question I asked was, how do they handle emotions, or how do they process them? Bitch, you're doing a good job. Move forward, great accomplishments, motivation, celebration. So for this to come out on top of the Jupiter card, pretty much more so than the Gemini card, this feels like they are very emotionally mature and very stable and solid in their emotions, which I love to see this, because I feel like on a lot of readings we come across, just, not that I'm just so in love with men, but I feel like a lot of times on these readings we hear such negative stories about men and how they're not as emotionally mature and this and that. And so not saying that all the people watching this group are watching this for the sake of a man. This reading is for any couples, heterosexual, homosexual, queer, whatever. But getting strong masculine energy, especially with Jupiter being out here, because Jupiter is a masculine planet, I believe. Anywho, it's very nice to see a love reading where the person that we're talking about is doing a good job with being emotionally mature. And it's so interesting because the shells on this card, the pile before you was the cowrie shell. So for that to come out was rather interesting. The second question that I asked was, what is something that they would tell you if they could tell you? And funny enough, you got something to say, need a conversation, speaking your truth. So for some of you, this person might find it very difficult to speak their truth, might find it difficult to say what's on their mind, which is interesting, especially with this Gemini energy here, because if you know anything about a Gemini, they cannot shut up. It's very difficult to get them to stop talking, especially about something that they're passionate about. With this card coming out, this means that this person wishes that you would speak up, that you would say more of like what's going on your mind, what your thoughts are, how you're feeling. I'm picking up subtly on some like unrequited feelings, or someone questioning feelings. Okay, the next group of cards are any extra insight as to the relationship. Flag, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Eagle, triumph over troubles, obstacles. Okay, let's pause right here. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. And then eagle, one of the highest flying birds. Like, do y'all see that poetic justice right there? So yeah, this person is going to help you elevate for sure. They're going to help you expand your mind, and this relationship is going to help you elevate. Like, you're going to do things better than what you've ever known them to be done. Yeah, needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted. So if you've ever dreamt of a certain lifestyle, like you're not going to want for anything. This person is also going to want you to look very good. So they're not going to care, not care in terms of like being reckless with money, but if it's something that you want to do cosmetically, or something you want to do for the house, or upgrade your lifestyle in terms of like how you look and how you present in the world, they're not going to be the ones to think that you're shallow for wanting a certain brand of clothes, or wanting to go to a certain place to buy makeup, or they're not going to turn their nose up at you for suggesting getting cosmetic surgery, whatever that looks like, from, something as simple as LASIK to, something as more serious, like a BBL, or a boob job or something like that. Like they're not going to try to cast judgment or stop you from getting it. Like, they're going to want you to look and feel your best. Fire, strong emotion, passionate love or hate. So yeah, I feel like this is confirming what I was just saying. Like, they want you to feel your best, and they do care about you very, very much. Temporary situation. Ooh. Oy, oy, oy. So with fire intent coming out, I don't know if this is going to be like a long-term situation, especially with the card literally saying temporary situation. And then looking over at passionate love or hate is reminding me of the saying, there's a thin line between love and hate. So if this is somebody that yeah, okay, now I'm getting more of a storyline. Bitch, you doing a good job. With that coming out for how they handle emotions, maybe perhaps maybe perhaps you are able to see from this relationship, okay, yeah, thank you, Spirit. Spirit just confirmed to me the storyline a little bit better. So I'm getting very strongly now that for a select few of this group, you've seen this person's red flags before in a different relationship. And in that relationship, it took you quite some time because you were a little green, you were a little wet behind the ears, whatever the case may be. Now that you are up on game, you're like, let me nip this in the bud. Now that you have this higher perspective and you have certain standards and you know where you want to go and what you want to do, you're able to move on from this person a little bit more quicker, because you're just like, I'm not here to waste time. I'm here to grind. I'm here to get everything that I came for in this lifetime, and I'm not just gonna sit here and let you ruin my life. There's a lot of like emotional maturity that comes from this relationship. Even if things might end like in a crash and burn type situation, especially with this Gemini energy being present here, things might end in a very like heated discussion or argument. I just heard wordsmith, so yeah. Ooh, and then August. Fire signs in August. So Leo. That's Leo and Virgo season. So August might be significant. Leo and Virgo season might be significant. Or something that happens in August might be the downfall of the relationship. The next question I asked was, what does this person do for work? And Four of Swords is what came out. So from this, I'm getting, they might be a writer. They might work from home, getting heavy work from home vibes. They might be a manager, like mid-level manager of some sort. They have some sort of like leadership role, but like they're not the big boss. Heavy corporate America vibes. Sales. Call center is coming through. Ooh, yeah, there's a lot of drama. Whoever's person is at the call center, there's a lot of drama, which might explain why things are so volatile, temporary situation, crash and burn type vibe. That's what I'm getting from that. The last question I asked is, what do they like to do with you? Like, how do they like to hang out? Oh, yeah. They like the Queen of Wands. They love your body. They view your body as a playground. This, especially with this coming in the reverse. This would also explain why it's a temporary situation. Because for some of you, they don't value your mind as much as they value your body. For some of you, they're quite literally jealous of your passion, your zest for life, the way that you carry yourself, and the attention that you gain from how you carry yourself. Like, they see that you're very admired, and they're like, damn, like, why everybody fuck with her? Like, how come they don't fuck with me? Ugh, like, that's just such icky energy. I'm also getting the sense that this person is not very focused. Like, if they would just focus, harness all that negative energy that they expend towards other people, if they would just focus that energy on creating something themselves, like, they would actually be quite successful. But instead, they choose to focus on bullshit and not learning a lesson. But overall lesson being like, go with the flow. Like, I do get that something positive that comes from this relationship is that you learn how to lighten up, how to not be so serious all the time, how to give yourself a little bit of a break, how to not go so hard in the paint. But whenever it's time for this little fling to be over, like, don't hesitate to cut it off. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope that this message resonated, even if it felt a little all over the place. If this message resonated, please leave a like. If you feel comfortable commenting, you ain't got to put me all up in your business, girl, but just, commenting to let me know if it resonated or not. I would greatly appreciate that. And a real big help would be if you shared it with a friend or somebody that you feel like would enjoy the message, enjoy the vibe over here, and consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos like this, as well as some lifestyle content. I sprinkle it in every now and again. Until next time, all the links on how to connect with me outside of this space are in the description box. And I will see you in the next video.